You are correct.
Oh, my paper does look
Okay, so we're starting on unit 6.2 as well. Okay, 6.2 is about reflections. Okay, reflections are when you flip something over a line. Flip over a line. Yes. Okay, a reflection is when you flip something over a line. So for example, number 1, if I give you triangle GHJ with vertices.
Oh, what kind of triangle is that?
With vertices G at 4, 2, H at 3, -4, and J at 1, 1. And this time we are going to reflect this over the y-axis. So reflected over the y-axis. Reflections are like mirror images. Okay, so you're flipping something over a line. Okay, we are always going to flip things over the axis. Okay, so over either the x or the y-axis. When you get to Math 1 next year, that's when you'll start flipping things like out in space.
If I get there.
You said it. Okay, so first start by drawing your coordinates.
No, that's true.
So G is over 4 up 2. That's your G point.
Where's the glue? Oh, it's right here.
H is at 3, -4, so over 3, down 4.
They're slacking, Harley.
Okay, can we not right now? That'd be great, thanks. And J is over 1, up 1.
You don't need to give me that attitude.
I can do it anybody else.
Enough, please.
I'm sorry.
Then, if I ask you to reflect this, listen, reflected over the y-axis, is that going to be moving side to side or up to down? The y-axis is this one, okay? So you're going to be moving it, flipping it over side to side. So basically, if you're reflecting something over the y-axis, its y-coordinate is not going to change. Okay, so like this J point, you look at it right now, it's 1 away from the axis, so you're going to go 1 in the other direction, and this is your J prime. Okay, do the same thing for G. Figure out on this line, it is over 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it's 4 on the right, you're going to go 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When you look at me,
That's your G prime.
it's the way.
Same thing for H. It is now 1, 2, 3 away on the right. So you're going to go from the axis, 3 to the left. And that's your H point, H prime. You can connect those dots to make your triangle. And then I also want you to write the coordinates. So G prime, H prime, and J prime. Where would G prime be at? What is the coordinate for G prime?
You a jerk, I know. You a jerk, I know. You a jerk.
-4,
-2.
+2.
Dang it.
What's the coordinate for H prime?
-3.
-3,
+4.
-4. And then what's the coordinate for J prime? -1, +1. Now, these are a little bit easier, okay? You can either just count your points, or when you're doing a reflection, notice that if you flip over the y-axis, what do you notice about all of your points? They're almost exactly the same. What's the only thing that's changed? Is the x coordinate, right? So the x changes from positive to negative, okay? So if it's over the y-axis, the x coordinate will change. What do you think happens if it's over the x-axis? The y coordinate will change, okay? And that's exactly the next thing we're going to do. For number 2, again, triangle MNP. So this one we're going to do triangle MNP with vertices. You can. You're still writing. Triangle MNP with vertices M, at 2, 1, N at -3, +1, and P at -1, +4. This time it's going to be translated over the x-axis. So I would like you to reflect this over the x-axis. You mean up? Well, are you done? Some people are still finishing number 1.
I'm sorry. I was tearing my paper so I could recount.
Okay, for this one,
I'm not trying to fight.
well, let's catch up. Come on. So M is 2, 1. So that means right 2, up 1. That's your M coordinate. N is at -3, so left 3, down 1. I'm sorry, up 1. My bad. -3, up 1. I'm sorry. And P is -1, up 4.
That wasn't me.
This time, if we reflect over the x-axis means, is this going to go side to side or up to down? Up and down. The x-axis is this one. Okay.
Shouldn't it be going left and right?
No, it's flipping like this. The x-axis does go left to right, but if I'm reflecting over the x-axis,
Okay.
you're right. X-coordinates tell you left to right, but this is flipping over the x-axis. Jared, can it be my turn now? Thank you. Okay, so none of these are going to change. They're going to stay in line here. N right now is 1 above the axis. So its reflection will be 1 below the axis. That is your N prime. M right here is 1 above the axis, so it will be reflected to be 1 below. And P is 1, 2, 3, 4 above. So when it's reflected, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 below. And that's your P prime. Do we need to make that noise? No. That's 5 seconds too many. So I want you to label or write down the coordinates of all of your primes.
What letters?
M, N, and P.
It's an N?
No, I'm talking about my letter.
Okay.
I just did like a line.
Okay, M prime is at what location? 2, -1. So if it's reflected over the x-axis, notice that all we're doing is changing the y coordinate. Okay, the N is at -3, -1, and P will be at -1, -4. Okay, so that's what happens when we reflect over the x-axis. It's mirror imaging left to right, side to side. And if you're reflecting over the x-axis, that means you're taking it and flipping it up or down.
Are we gonna have another?
Yes, there's 2 more. That will be fine. Anyone have questions on how I did that?
Yeah, so when we're flipping,
No.
we do the same thing on the negative side. So like,
Exactly.
so like M and 2, 1 and -3, 1. So we do that on the negative side, right?
It
That
could,
says
yes, it
versus
could
and
flip.
on
It could flip from negative to positive, or it can flip from positive to negative. It just depends how your original starts.
So whatever your original is, then you
It's
go on the
opposite,
side
yes.
of the lines.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's gonna switch. Okay, next one we have 2 more and then we'll be done. You need to move faster and stop complaining. Number 3. Okay, this time I'm gonna give you a quadrilateral. So it's gonna have 4 corners. So quadrilateral.
We can't do it.
WX, YZ with vertices. Quadrilateral WXYZ with vertices W at -1, -1, X at 4, 1, Y at at 4, 5, and Z at 1, 7. And this time I would like you to reflect over y equals 0. So sometimes we're going to ask you to reflect over the x-axis or the y-axis. Sometimes we'll just say y equals 0 or x equals 0. So you have to know how to do both ways. So reflected over y equals 0. So where is y equal to 0? Is that the side to side or the up and down?
Up and down.
Nope.
Side to side.
Y equals 0 on this side to side. I'm sorry?
Did you say center? Is that even an option?
I don't even know what you just said. Okay, so y equals 0 right here. Okay? So if it says y equals 0, what's another word for y equals 0?
0 equals y.
The x-axis. Okay, where y equals 0 is actually the x-axis. So start by plotting these points. So -1, -1 is your w. X is over 4 up 1. Y is at over 4 up 5. And Z is over 1 up 7.
Man, that is a weird looking shape.
This is a kind of goofy looking quadrilateral. And then we're reflecting over the x-axis. So sometimes not all the points are up in the positive or in the negative. So like this one's going to move where? If it's reflected, it's currently down 1. Yeah. So if you reflect it, if you flip it over, it'll be at up 1. That's your W prime. This Z is up 7. If you reflect it, it's going to go down 7, right?
Oh, I see.
So it's reflected. So you're moving everything. You're flipping it over y equals 0. This one is up 1, so it's your x is going to be at down 1. And y is up 5, so your y prime will be down 5.
Got it.
If you're labeling your points, okay, I want you to write the coordinates for all your primes. So if I reflect it over the y-axis, or excuse me, over y equals 0, which is the x-axis, what's changing in my points? The x part or the y part? The y part is changing. So W is at -1, +1 now. X should be at 4, -1. Y is at 4, -5. And Z is at 1, -7. Do we have questions on?
How many do you have both?
We've been over that.
She looks like a guy. He looks like a guy.
Are you caught up now?
Can you go back on the one really quick?
No.
What are you doing, kid?
Okay, last one. Last one. For example, number 4. Yay. Okay, last one. If I tell you we have parallelogram. Parallelogram. HIJK with vertices. Parallelogram HIJK with vertices. H at -1, 3. I at -1, 1. Sorry, -1, -1. J is at 2, -2. And K is at 2, +2. And this time I would like to reflect over x equals 0. Reflect over x equals 0.
So y-axis.
Exactly. So if it's at x equals 0, another way of saying that is the y-axis.
Well, that's been me that whole entire time.
Let me wait for just a minute. Okay, so parallelogram. What? Label these. So H is at -1 up 3. There's your H. I is at -1, -1.
Oh, I done moved.
J is over 2, down 2. And K is over 2, up 2.
It's a rhombus.
It's a parallelogram.
Rhombus.
Parallelogram. Okay, and this one I said I wanted to reflect it over x equals 0. So the y-axis, you're going to reflect it over this axis.
But it's pretty.
So this is confusing because you're
like in the
reflecting it
middle.
over here. That's okay. It doesn't have to all be on the positive or all on the negative side. So here, this H is left 1. So that means we're going to move right 1. This is going to be your H prime. K is currently right 2. So your new point will be left 2. I is at -1, so it'll turn around to be +1. And J is at +2, so it'll flip over to be at -2. So think of it as mirror image, okay? They're almost done. And then the last thing you have to do is rewrite your coordinates.
We have 5 minutes left?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you believe that?
Okay, what's my H coordinate? 1, 3. What's my I coordinate? 1, -1.
Oh, profanity, Will.
J should be at -2, -2. And K should be at -2, +2.
Mine came out like a tin can. I messed up.